Hello and welcome to Benji's garden. Here is a quick garden tour of what's in flower. I've been away for a week in North Wales and I'm home now, so this is what's in flower at the moment. I did buy myself a little treat. This is called the Wedding Rose, and as you can see it's very beautiful. It is scented. I also treated myself to, as you can see the label, David Austin, Queen of Sweden. So I look forward to that one. Here is Tom Tom. Unfortunately, it's been raining, so they spoiled the blooms. And here we have Tatten, still holding up and looking good. This is a new variety. Unfortunately, I don't know what it is because it's part of the collection. Still very nice though, and it's fragrant. This lovely purple rose is called Old Port. Don't detect much fragrance off it so far. It's still a lovely rose. Ballerina. Starting to go over now, as you can see. That's what they look like when they start to fade. But the fresh new growth looks really nice. This one here is called Lea Tutu. This is very fragrant, this one is, and is one of my favourites. Then this variety is called Gorgeous. And it sort of has orange, yellow, and sort of this rosy pink around the edges. This is a pink hybrid tea. Unfortunately no fragrance, but still looks nice to me. This is a new seedling of mine, just opened up. Looks very pretty too. Has lots of petals, but is more open habit. Here are the sweet peas. As you can see, I have lots of different varieties. These are known as ripples. And then these lovely blues, which are good for cat flowers. An unknown hybrid tea, just known as a yellow hybrid tea, but that is fragrant. Blue Few still looking really lovely, as you can see. Still one of my favourites, and it just seems to bloom continuously. There never seems to be a gap in blooming, it just always keeps throwing out new flowers. This is Kew Gardens, a David Austin rose. It's got beautiful lemon open blooms in these clusters, and is also very fragrant as well. Another one of my favourites. This is Pistachio Vine of the David Austin rose. Very beautiful. As you can see, the fragrance is amazing. It kind of smells like sherbet is the only way I can describe it, but yeah, there's lots of blooms on here now, and it's another one of my favourites. This is another David Austin rose. This is Sir Walter Raleigh, and as it starts to open it looks like that, and then as it opens more it looks like that, and is also very fragrant, and is one of my favourites as well in the garden. It's got these gorgeous red flowers which are very scented, as you can see. Isn't that lovely? And this does behave more like a climber for me, as it seems to be sending out lots of shoots that sprawl. So yeah, it's another lovely rose to have. The lilies looking beautiful. These are Asiatics, so there's no scent on them, unfortunately. but I still love looking at them. This is Reines de Violettes. Gorgeous blooms. And is one of my favourites. This just seems to keep putting out new buds all the time as well, so it does repeat very, very well. Oh, and it's also very fragrant. This is Arthur Bell, coming back again into bloom. It tends to flower in clusters as it's a floribunda, and it's also very fragrant too. And the blooms on here can get very, very large for a floribunda, so yeah, it's another lovely rose. This is Hot Chocolate, a gorgeous rose. On camera it looks more red, but in real life it has this russet brown sort of colour, and it is fragrant. It has a very spicy fragrance to it, and it's another one of my favourites. This is Madame Alice Garnier, a beautiful rambling rose. This tends to repeat well for me too, and is also very fragrant. This is Fellowship, a beautiful floribunda rose, and is also very fragrant. This is Pretty Jessica, coming back into bloom again. Lots more buds as well coming, as you can see. This one does suffer with black spot, as you can see, so I'll have to deal with that, but very beautiful flowers. Here is another rose which is similar to Fellowship, but unfortunately I don't know the name of it. But it's also very fragrant, and yeah, it's a lovely looking rose. It's sort of like a two-tone, so it's not quite yellow, and it has like an orange tinge to it. This is Echinops, or Echinops, whichever way you want to say it, Bonatica, and it's just starting to open now, and then that'll turn blue, and the bees really, really love this one. But this is what it looks like when it's just starting to open. Honorine de Brabant, looking very beautiful at the moment, as you can see. It's such a stunning rose and is definitely one of my favourites. A very deep burgundy red rose. It was one of the first to bloom in the garden this year, but it's coming back, and I think it's a climbing rose, but I'm really not sure what it's called, unfortunately. But it is very fragrant. This is the Lady Gardener, which is a David Austin rose. Another wonderfully fragrant, very strong tea fragrance, I would say. So it is lovely. So that's the one bloom, and this other bloom, that's just as it starts to open. Yes, a very beautiful rose. This beautiful rose is called Felicia. It is a Pemberton rose, so it's of Himalayan descent. The blooms, when they fully open, look like that. So they're quite large. Very, very fragrant and lovely. So it's definitely a rose I recommend to get. And this is just Joey, back in bloom again. Beautifully gorgeous scented flowers. This bright yellow plant is a Lismackia. I don't mind it personally, and if you look at the insides of them, they're sort of like a reddy sort of colour, so it's quite pretty. And my carnation has opened for the year as well, so very lovely, and is great for cut flowers. One in a million, looking really stunning at the moment. It's just starting to open, and that's what it looks like when it fully opens. But as you can see, they really are looking lovely right now. And this is my patio yellow rose, which is looking stunning, and is one of the oldest roses that I have. It's actually fragrant as well, so that's a good bonus. And this is another patio rose. This one's called Sunset, and it's a newer rose for me this year. Unfortunately not fragrant, but very pretty. Here is a hybrid tea, very fragrant and huge blooms. Unfortunately I don't know the name of this. I think it could be Deep Secret. Still lovely though. And here is a likeness, also known as Maltese Cross. It's a lovely perennial. Here are some of my daylilies, which are just open today. Very beautiful. Definitely love this one. And here we have the daylilies. Looking beautiful at the moment. Monkshood, still looking lovely. And some delphiniums, still clinging on. Here we have a lovely wildflower. Actually smells quite nice. It has a quite sweet scent that it gives off. And here we have a Potentilla just sticking through. And then next to that is one of my Dwarf Roses. Unfortunately I don't know the name to this. I've had this for many years, and I had it as a very small pot plant. And then next to it is another daylily. I think this is Stella d'Oro. Very beautiful. Lots of blooms here. And then we have oranges and lemons, which seems to be different by every bloom, as you can see. Buff Beauty is still blooming. This is one of my favourites. Next to the Lunaria, we have Sheila's Perfume, which is another lovely rose. This is a Floribunda, and it's very fragrant. And no two blooms are the same, as you can see. Complete variation in them. And next to it, we have Raymond Blanc, which is just stunning. There are so many blooms on here at the moment, as you can see. And it's actually grown quite tall this year too. If you can just see. It's one of my favourites. But as it opens, that's what it looks like. It's quite similar to the new rose that I've got. Here we have the Potentilla. Unfortunately I've had to stake that as it flopped. But I have a pink rose next to it, which is doing better this year. Lots of new buds coming. And yeah, that's looking good. Only has a light fragrance though, unfortunately. This lovely rose was sold to me as National Treasure. Unfortunately, I don't think it is. But it does have lightly fragrant, almost pom red flowers. So I look forward to this. I've actually taken cuttings of this year, and they've rooted, so thankfully I have some more of it. Alissa, Princess of Phoenicia, is also back in bloom again. Very lovely that one is. And this hybrid musk is Cornelia. Also very fragrant. Now I believe this rose is called Tranquility. I could be wrong, but I'm still trying to name it. And I think it is a David Austin. It's called Irene. Another lovely creamy white rose. And this is New Dawn. And look, a little butterfly. Hello little butterfly. She's quite happy, enjoying New Dawn at the moment. And here is my Clematis or Clematis, whichever way you say it. She's looking lovely this year. This is Cardinal Rouge. That's what it looks like when it just starts to open. And here is another Clematis with these gorgeous purpley blue flowers. Very much like that one. And then above that I have this one which nods down. This is Strawberry Hill. Looking very lovely at the moment. Still putting out loads of blooms, and I've also got that Clematis running through it, which is really nice, as you can see. Watching, and I'll catch you again soon. Bye bye.